And we are live, guys. Welcome to yet another live session from Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and today we're going to talk about repetition. In order to become successful, there's going to be a repetition of a lot of small, tiny steps that are most probably going to be boring and mundane that you will do for a long period of time in order to create an exponential growth curve for yourself. You're going to have to repeat a lot of the same steps again and again and again and again. Now, fortunately, we are habitual people. And because we're creatures of habit, we eventually get to the point where that's been boring and that's just been kind of sucks. Eventually we'll get to the point where we don't have to think about it anymore, and then that exponential growth curve when we choose to. Like, everything is a choice in our lives. We are who we create ourselves to be. That's why in the last video I said that you always should take the blame, because you are responsible for where you are in your life right now. You're responsible. You cannot blame the past. You cannot blame people. You can only blame yourself for where you are right now. Now, the cool part about that is that you can easily forgive yourself because you easily forgive others, right? The person that's hardest to forgive is yourself. So learn how to forgive others first, and then forgive yourself, because that's going to happen automatically. If you forgive others, you easily forgive yourself. And then it's easy to move towards the exponential growth of success, because everything is automatic. It's repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill. In order to become professional at something, you've got to have the skills. In order to get the skills, you got to repeat those boring, mundane steps that will take you to the exponential growth curve. Now, what do I mean by repetition? Now, let's take, for example, you reading a book. Let's say, for example, you want to read Good to Great by Jim Collins. Yes. You want to read Good to Great, and you read it by Jim Collins, and then you're finished with the book, and you say, Joseph, great, I'm finished with the book. Which book do you want me to read right now? I will most probably say, how many times did you read Good to Great? And you're going to say, well, I just finished it once. And to be honest, I just kind of skimmed through it and browsed through it and just kind of finished it quite quickly. How are you going to become a success if you only remember 10% of what you read? Now, if you only remember 10% of what you read, maybe you should read the book 10 times until you actually understand the message that's in it. Now, of course, that can be going on for a longer period of time. Let's say, for example, a year. I want to read that book once a month, or let's say 4 times in a year, or 12 times in a year, or 6 times in a year. You decide. You decide when you have understood the true message of the book. But Good to Great is one of those books. Slight Edge. Slight Edge I read 12 times. Of course, over a longer period of time. What about you? How many times do you read one personal development book? Have you just read it once and then quit? Are you a quitter? Quitters never win, and winners never quit. If you're going to be a winner when it comes to a specific book that millions have said, man, this book have literally changed my mind, how many times have you read it? If you've quit after just reading one time, that means you are a quitter and you're not a fine finisher. You need to learn how to become a fine finisher at each of the habits that you want to have. And then you'll become who you want to become. Does that make sense? So, next video I'm going to talk about which books that you should read, which books I recommend. And I will share them with you, and I'll try to keep it down to 10, but we'll see. These are the books that I have really made a huge difference in my life, and I'll probably give you another list later, like maybe 50 books that have created my life philosophy. Another help is also to just watch this channel, because everything I say and everything that comes out of my mouth pretty much have been learned from books. And those books have changed my life, and I'm so grateful for it. In terms of repetition of skill, what else are you quitting at right now instead of becoming a fine finisher? Let's say, for example, a business or a job. How long have you had a job? Now this you come back to getting a job in the first place. You should not be spending time with a job that you would not want to do for at least 3 years' time. 3 years. 5 years should be it, but I don't recommend anyone having any job for 5 years. Okay, so let's say it's a job, okay, and in the past you've been there, let's say two years. I would recommend that you stick it out for 3 years, as long as you're not working for any women, and as long as you're as long as it's something that actually is teaching you something and helping you grow and helping you become. Because the problem in the world today is that many people are they're quitting too soon without having established a skill, without having established repetition, without having established something that makes you valuable in the marketplace. Going back to, let's say, for example, your marriage. If you have a long-term girlfriend and you have kids together, are you a quitter or are you a fine finisher? Do you figure out how to make that relationship blossom? Because it's completely possible. If she's still with you today and you're thinking about leaving, it's ridiculous, because there are ways that you can make that relationship blissful. You can take it to the next level. Okay, maybe it won't be amazing, but you can make it into a way that she eventually adores you more than anything else in the world. Now, you can just look at the beginning of this channel, or you can talk to me. You get free personal coaching here. There's so many things that you can become better at. Okay? And I'm excited to participate in that growth curve. Repetition is the mother of skill. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. How many times have you done one thing that if you did that one thing over and over and over and over again, you'd become fantastic at it? Then you create your exponential growth curve. My name is Joseph Darling, and this is the Men of High Value channel, and I'll see you again tomorrow.